The greatest musical artist of the internet age is
Mafumafu.
Mafumafu. What does it mean to be a true artist? This is subjective, of course, but many would say it involves doing things in a unique way that only that artist could do. In the realm of music, true artistry, as I see it, must be an authentic and individual interpretation of music. I also see one of the most important aspects of a musical artist as keeping true to the essence of music. In the end, no matter how innovative someone is, their work must still be music and connect to people, or else it would cease to be music, or at least would cease to be music worthy of high praise. After all, music can express that which can't be expressed by words, although they often work together. In this video series, I will present everything about Mafumafu that makes him a singularly revolutionary artist in the internet age. You can make up your own mind, of course. One of the things I notice about great artists is that you could tell who they are immediately. The one thing about Mafumafu that will smack new listeners in the face is, of course, his incredibly unique voice. His voice is so unique and iconic that it has become almost literally the voice of Utaite. Most fans can recognize his voice within a few notes. However, many fans are not able to recognize his voice in early recordings, circa 2012 or 2013. As you could hear, it was completely different. I wouldn't have been able to tell it was him if I didn't already know. He's always had an impressive vocal range, as well as the ability to sing in a feminine voice. But his tone and how he used these skills evolved radically from his debut in 2012 until about 2016, when his voice solidified as the unmistakable, modern, refined Mafumafu that we all know and love. Here, the deep masculine voice and the higher feminine voice are almost like two separate characters that he's playing. However, we'll see them start to blend together. That was his 2011 cover of Senban Sakura. Compare this to his 2013 cover of Lost Ones Weeping. Even with his voice singing the same pitches as before, higher overtones are apparent. Maybe more nasally and less open. Forgive me, I'm not a singer. He uses heavy and open vibrato. His voice is rough and not smooth. Notice his high range and screaming. His tone has opened up a bit more, but it's still rougher than it will be. Puberty is working backwards, his upper range is coming out clearer, his entire range is more clear and connected. His voice has masculine and feminine qualities which blend continuously together. With this, his concept is complete. He refines it over the next few years. He's pretty much complete. This is the Mafu we know. His screams still have a rough edge to them, but they're more refined and controlled. Mafu revealed his face in a recent video. His artistic concept has been evolving, but his voice has remained constant since about 2016. We could hope for a new era of Mafu art. I can't confirm this, but I heard rumors that Mafumafu said in his early days he felt pressured to sing with a deeper voice. I think we could clearly hear that. The Utaite community at the time was dominated by voices very different from his. People like Ludamin, Clear, Gero, Rumdurjun, Rib, etc. Forgive any pronunciation errors. These voices were the sound of male Utaite at the time. There were also so-called trap singers, but no one really united the more masculine and feminine voices into a cohesive style the way Mafumafu did. This is speculation, of course, but at some point Mafumafu probably realized something. Maybe he heard his soul calling to him and followed it, and found his true unique voice, instead of trying to copy the dominant style of the Utaite community at the time. His evolution is apparent not only in his voice, but in his compositions, lyrics, and persona. Following his incredible development, the entire Utaite community changed around him, but I'll get to that in later videos. How exactly did Mafumafu affect such an incredible change in his vocal tone? There's only one answer. He must have practiced a lot and refined it into what he was hearing. That's the only way. There's vocal editing and pitch correction tools like Melodyne, which are industry standard for pretty much all vocalists, but those can't change tone like this. Also, his live performances sound pretty much the same as his recordings, except with a few minor tuning issues. There's no way anyone will get a tonal change as big as this without serious practice. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't find any interviews where he talks about what he practices. If you know something I don't, tell me in the comments. Anyway, I asked some singers about Mafumafu's vocal transformation, and they said it was a very big change. It's clearly rare that this happens. So there you have it. This in itself makes Mafumafu quite impressive as a singer, not to mention his incredible range. He easily reaches notes seen as impressive. For more, just watch all the Mafumafu high note compilations. His tone is obviously unique too, since that's how everyone recognizes him. He has great technique, tone, and dynamic control in extreme ranges. Most importantly, his voice is incredibly expressive. His voice alone, not to mention his music and lyrics, is able to connect with millions of people across the world, and I know for sure it has helped many people deal with depression and suicide. As his voice evolved, so did his compositions. The songs he wrote for his first album, which had originals on it, 2013's Setsu Naido Syndrome, with the exception of, aren't very memorable in my opinion and don't really sound unique to him. Only half of the songs on the album were written by him too. Compare this to 2019's Kaguairo Artifact. Apologies for the pronunciation. This album has 20 songs, most of which are memorable and all of which are originals. Even the less memorable ones are good. For an album of this length, this is very impressive. It's one of my favorite albums ever, actually. All of the songs have a distinctive Mafumafu style, whereas his earlier compositions don't really. So, what is his style? Like most weeb music, it's not really one genre, but it's its own thing. He likes using super clean J-rock guitar, electronic instruments and effects, and sometimes he incorporates traditional Japanese instruments. A lot of his songs are fast and dark, but they could also be upbeat and fun or slow and soothing. His harmony is usually fairly standard J-pop or J-rock stuff, but as they often do in weeb music, he inserts some unexpected chord progressions, and sometimes he has some pretty cool stuff. I'll go into depth into the music theory in the later video, but basically his compositional style wouldn't be super unique if he wasn't singing it. But therein lies the point that he was writing to fit his voice, and when he found his true voice, his writing was allowed to grow with it. And now his composition style, even if the notes themselves aren't particularly unique, the cumulative product, the soundscape, the instrumentation, etc., plus his voice, of course, creates a sound that is pretty much unique to him. An important part of his development was his lyrics. A lot of them are dark, and they're all based on experience or emotion that he feels, making them relatable to many people. Mafumafu said that part of the reason why he became interested in Vocaloid was dark lyrics.
暗い歌詞を書き続ける理由、それはマフマフ自身の10代の頃の体験が影響している。
僕すごいひどいいじめを受けてたことがあって、まあそれはまあ散々なものですごいひどかったんですけど、世の中にある曲って明るいものばっかりだったんですよ。街角で流れてるものは大抵明るいじゃないですか。そんな時にすごく暗い曲を歌うアーティストとかいることに気づいたんですね。この誰にも救われないような気持ち、この苦しいっていう気持ちをなんでこんなに歌ってくれるんだろう、それがすごくありがたくて救われて、そこから本当に音楽が好きになっていったかもしれません。なんか世の中に、絶望することも、人を嫌いになることも、死にたくないよっていうことも、それなんでかっていうと、本当はこの世界が好きだからだと思うんですよ。本当は大事だからこんな世界っていうんだと思うんですよ。自分にとって大事だと思っていた言葉が視聴者さんにとってもそうなり得るなら、これからも書いていきたいなと思いました。
I will go deeper into his lyrics in a later video as well, but the lyrics combined with his voice and the compositions built around them reveal aspects of the authentic person we know as Mafumafu. In Jungian psychology, individuation is the process of self-actualization through uniting one's subconscious and conscious minds. I believe this is part of the process of becoming a true unique artist, because there must be a direct connection between deep and subconscious things like emotions to the music that is consciously created. When these two become more united, the qualities of the individual are allowed to express themselves unhindered by and in harmony with the conscious mind, the surrounding culture, and finally everything in existence. Rather than pressure from the Utaite community suppressing Mafumafu's strange voice, the Utaite community is now known by that voice, and through dark personal experiences, Mafumafu is able to express things that connect people around the world and make life less dark for them. Now we see how Mafumafu found his voice and became a true artist, our very own angel. Thanks for watching. In the next video, I will go deep into Mafumafu's music. We'll be discussing music theory and fun stuff like that. Make sure you subscribe to CAA as well as my channel linked in the description. This has been Eric Nelson writing for Konshu.